Hey guys, so how's it going? I hope you're all okay in these troubled times. I am just here for a bit of a chatty check-in, I suppose, to just talk about stuff that's been going on. Not nothing dramatic's happened. The most dramatic thing that's happened in my life is the Dericho, as it's called, that just passed through the Midwest. Where I live was very much in the path of the Dericho. I lost power for about 30 hours early in the week. It hit on Monday morning, and I lost power around 11:30, and I got power back around 3:30 in the afternoon the next day. I was one of the lucky ones. There are some people who still don't have power, and there were some people who didn't get power back till, Wednesday or Thursday. So I feel like one of the lucky ones. But yeah, it was a pretty intense storm. I was a little scared during it, to be quite honest. But the biggest news in my life is that just yesterday I took my qualifying exam for my PhD, and this exam is basically sort of a rite of passage that you have to get through in order to propose a dissertation. And the qualifying exam in this program, for those who don't know or are new, I am in a PhD program for social psychology, and in this program, the qualifying exam is an 8-hour exam where you sit down in a room with a clean laptop without internet or anything, and you answer 7 broad questions about social psychology, about various areas within social psychology. And over the summer, we were given a reading list, essentially, which was basically like 1,200 plus pages worth of academic articles that we needed to read and sort of master, that could all theoretically be covered on any question on this exam. And so the reason that I took off from doing many booktube videos over the summer was to focus on this exam, because I just knew that with how much work that was going to be getting all that reading done, because it's dense reading. It's not like reading a book. It's like reading stuff double columned, not very generous font, pretty dry, and yeah, I mean, they're not long, but and so just imagine more than 1,000 pages of that I had to read over the summer, and then basically master it, and then sit down and take an exam that could be on basically anything from among that reading. And so it's a pretty intense process, and I'm done with it, though. It ended yesterday. The exam started at 8 a.m. and it was over by 5 p.m. with an hour lunch break from 12 to 1, and I actually felt reasonably good afterward. I actually felt pretty good about it. There were a couple things where I know I had some trouble, but I don't think they're enough to do me in. I'm cautiously optimistic that I actually passed, is basically what I mean. And so that's great. And if I do actually pass, then I'll theoretically be able to propose a dissertation, although I won't really, because I took the exam along with several other students, and all of the other students who took it were in their 4th year, starting their 4th year next week, whereas I'm only starting my 3rd year. And the reason I was able to take it a year early than most is because I came into the program with a master's degree. And also because I am the only person in my cohort in this program. So when I entered this PhD program, I entered with one other student, which is a pretty small cohort, as we call them. And then she decided to leave after she defended her dissertation. So I'm now alone in a cohort. And so the department decided that because I have a master's degree, because making me take the exam all alone as the only person taking it would be a little cruel, they decided to make a bit of an exception and allow me to take it this year. And the reason it's an exception is because I haven't actually fulfilled a lot of the, or not a lot, but a few of the course and credit requirements that you need to technically to take the qualifying exam. So I won't really be able to propose until I've actually fulfilled those requirements as well. Whereas the other people who took it will presumably be proposing this year. I will probably propose next year. So I'm in a bit of an odd position where I'm sort of in a bit of a limbo area between being able to propose and not. But anyway, I'm just glad that the exam is over. However the results come, I'm just glad it is out of the way. Because it's been a rough summer. I've been stressed. I've been stressed about that, and everything else going on in the world has not helped. And having the Jericho happening earlier this week and having the power out was, another added stress. The day that on Tuesday, 2 days before the exam, I was just so distracted and stressed that I was not able to get any studying done on that day. 2 days before the exam. Yeah, that was not helpful. But the professors on the committee who came up with the qualifying exam are very understanding. They will take into account the fact that we had a gigantic storm roll through earlier in the week. They will take into account COVID-19 when grading, and everything. So, it's been a stressful summer to get everything done, but it is over, and I'm very glad. And unfortunately, I do start classes next week, so there's not much breathing room. I do have today, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday I don't actually have any classes Mondays this semester, so I'm gonna treat it like another weekend day. So I do have like 4 days to just sort of unwind. So I'm gonna savor it while I can, and I'm excited to be back on BookTube. But I thought that I would, just let you all know too that this semester and this whole school year, my university is requiring masks, requiring social distancing. It has directions for walking, in one direction. Staircases are labeled as only up or only down so that people don't have to pass by skinny staircases and stuff. And it's not really enough. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna go particularly well, but all of my classes are remote. There are some classes that are in person, some classes that are online, and some that are a combination of the two. All of my classes are remote, so I'm glad of that. I wish all classes were remote, but I know that it's hard. But anyway, it's definitely, I don't know, I'm a little worried about how it's all going to go, but, we will face it when it comes. But anyway, I did manage to do reading this summer. I did manage to read for pleasure, as well as getting my qualifying exam reading done. So I do plan to do some sort of a summer wrap-up of everything. There will actually be a fair amount to talk about, which is great. I was concerned that I would just not do any reading. In the past couple weeks, my reading has been inconsistent just because I've been so immersed in preparing, but now I'm free from that, and I can focus on my pleasure reading again, and on this channel. So, anyway, that's what's up with me. The book I've been working on, I've been sort of chipping away at, is this, The Genius of the Early English Theatre. This is edited by Sylvan Barnett, Morton Berman, and William Berto, and it has the text of 7 plays. 3 of them are anonymous morality plays, Abraham and Isaac, The Second Shepherd's Play, and Everyman. And then we have Dr. Faustus by Christopher Marlowe, Macbeth, Volpone by Ben Jonson, and Samson Agonistes by John Milton. And then there are also several essays by sort of notable writers from throughout history who wrote on drama. So essays by Philip Sidney, T.S. Eliot, Thomas de Quincey, James Agate, a variety of stuff. So I thought it was kind of an interesting collection, and I kind of think of it as sort of a bit of a prelude to ShakeTube for me, because I don't know much about Shakespeare's contemporaries. I haven't read much of them, and so that's sort of why I picked this up. And I do find the inclusion of Samson Agonistes a little puzzling, because Samson Agonistes is not really like a conventional play. It's more like a dramatic poem. I mean, I don't think Samson Agonistes is staged often, if ever. If anyone knows whether Samson Agonistes has actually been like staged, then let me know. But as far as I know, it's usually just read as like a dramatic poem. But anyway, as you can see, I'm almost done. I only have Samson Agonistes and then the essays in the back to read. The essays are all very short. So yeah, I think I might do a whole video about that one, but I will also mention it in the wrap up. But anyway, yeah. So this semester for my classes, for my school, for my PhD, I still don't really know what I'm gonna do for my dissertation, which is why it's really good that I still have 3 years here, rather than just 2. I know vaguely what area I want to do my dissertation in, but it's an area that I really need to get more acquainted with, and so I need to do more reading in that area. I won't talk about it on my channel because it'll all be very, again, dry academic reading, but it'll be in an area that I'm more and more interested in, so it won't be tedious like the reading this summer was. But basically, for me, this year is going to be a year of lots and lots of reading, of educating myself on this area, and trying to come up with a dissertation topic. Basically, the topic there are 2 topics that I'm interested in possibly doing my dissertation on. One is publication bias. Publication bias is a big issue in psychology, where papers. But basically, publication bias is when the published record of studies is not actually reflective of the research that's being done in the world, because of some biases of editors and reviewers, because editors and reviewers tend to still, unfortunately, prioritize research that's very sort of as we jokingly say, sexy, new and interesting, that makes these supposedly makes these big theoretical contributions to the field, and they don't tend to prioritize work that really tries to pin down what we actually know. There's a lot of studies, classic studies in psychology that have not been replicated, have where a researcher has done an old study from decades ago and redone it in exactly the same method, and it hasn't turned out the same way. And that raises obvious problems, because it's like, so do we actually know what we think we know about all these different psychological phenomena that we talk about all the time? Publication, so vaguely in that area of like publication bias. And then the other one is power, statistical power, which is a bit harder to explain because it's a little bit technical. It's a basic concept, but it's essentially the probability that a statistical test will find a true effect, if that makes sense. But anyway, so those are the vague areas. I don't know if my description made any sense, but anyway, I just wanted to check in and chat about stuff and things. But yeah, I will come with a summer wrap up, and I will be doing a tag. Actually, I think I might do a couple tags, because Jack from the Rambling Raconteur tagged me in the reread tag, which I'm really excited to do, and then way back, Jason from Old Blues Chapter and Brisk actually tagged me in 2 things, in the Shakespeare tag and the 10 years, 10 books tag. So, I have a few tags I could do. So, yeah, maybe I will try to actually start partaking in Tag Tuesday. But anyway, I will end it there. I don't want to let this video go on for too long. I think I've almost gone on for 15 minutes. So anyway, I hope you all have a decent weekend, and I'll let you go now.